We are taught from a young age that emotions are things to be controlled, managed, conquered. We grow up learning that anger is dangerous, that sadness is weakness, and that fear is something to be ashamed of. And so we begin a lifelong war, a quiet battle inside ourselves, fighting feelings as if they are invaders, things to be suppressed, silenced, or ignored. But what if that entire story is wrong? What if your emotions are not enemies? What if they're messengers, signals, guides? Carl Jung once wrote, "What you resist not only persists but will grow in size." Think about that. Every emotion you push down festers. It doesn't disappear, it waits. You can bury anger beneath a smile, but it finds its way out. Through tension, through sarcasm, through explosions you didn't see coming. You can numb sadness with distractions, but it lingers, just beneath the surface, waiting for a quiet moment to resurface. We've been taught to fear the full force of our feelings, to keep them tidy, manageable. But feelings are not machines. They are energy, alive. And they have one goal: to be felt. Imagine your emotions as children knocking at your door. When you ignore them, they knock louder. When you shout at them to leave, they scream. But when you open the door and sit with them, they soften. You don't need to solve them. You just need to listen. Presence is powerful. Brené Brown says, "We cannot selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful emotions, we also numb the positive emotions. When you suppress grief, you dull your capacity for joy. When you bury fear, you blunt your courage." Numbing doesn't just silence pain. It silences life. The truth is, emotions are messengers. Each one brings information. Anger says, a boundary has been crossed. Sadness says, something precious is gone. Fear says, something important feels unsafe. And joy? Joy reminds you what matters most. If you stop demonizing your emotions, you start decoding them, and in that decoding, you find wisdom. You are not weak because you feel deeply, you are awake. We live in a world that tells us to stay positive, to keep smiling, to look on the bright side no matter what. But toxic positivity is just another disguise for emotional avoidance. When you tell yourself, "I shouldn't feel this way," you're rejecting your own experience. You're turning away from a part of yourself that is asking to be heard. The poet Rumi wrote, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you." Your emotions are part of life flowing through you. Letting yourself feel is not indulgence. It's intelligence. Emotional intelligence. There's a difference between being ruled by emotions and being informed by them. Being ruled means reacting without awareness. Being informed means pausing, noticing, and choosing. Your anger may flare, but awareness allows you to channel it. Your sadness may weigh you down, but awareness allows you to honor it without drowning in it. Suppressing emotion often leads to one of two paths: explosion or implosion. Explosion is when repressed feelings burst out in destructive ways. Implosion is when they turn inward, manifesting as anxiety, depression, or physical illness. Neither path is healing. Both are calls for deeper attention. So what does it mean to sit with your emotions? It means giving them space. It means noticing where they live in your body: tightness in your chest, a sinking in your stomach, heat rising in your face. It means breathing into those spaces without judgment. It means whispering to yourself, "It's okay to feel this, even when it's messy, especially when it's messy." Because when you sit with your emotions, you remind yourself that you are not your feelings. You are the container, and the container is always bigger than what it holds. You can feel rage without becoming rage. You can feel fear without becoming fear. This is the quiet power of emotional awareness. One of the greatest myths we're taught is that emotions make us irrational. But the truth, emotions are data. They may not always tell you the whole story, but they always tell you something true. Fear says, "Be careful," but it doesn't always mean stop. Anger says, "Something's wrong," but it doesn't always mean destroy. Sadness says, "You've lost something," but it doesn't mean you are lost. When we pause and reflect, we can translate raw emotion into meaningful insight. We can respond rather than react. This is what mindfulness teaches us. The Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh described it beautifully. Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. When a wave of emotion hits, your breath can anchor you, ground you, remind you that you are safe, even when you feel shaken. Emotions are meant to move, that's why we call it emotion. Energy in motion. Problems arise when we cling to them, or refuse to feel them at all. Flow is their natural state, and your job isn't to dam the river, it's to let it pass through. So many of us have internalized the message that we are too much, too sensitive, too emotional. But what if your depth is your gift? To feel deeply is not a flaw, it's a form of wisdom. The world needs more people who feel, people who care. You don't have to apologize for your tears. You don't have to harden your heart to survive. You don't have to numb yourself to belong. You are allowed to be human, fully human. And to be human is to feel. So here's the quiet invitation. Stop fighting yourself. Stop labeling your feelings as bad or wrong. Stop measuring your worth by how well you can hide your hurt. Emotions are not proof of weakness. They are proof of life. You don't need to fix your feelings. You need to feel them. Let them rise. Let them crest. Let them pass. Just like waves, they are temporary visitors. And just like waves, they shape you. Smooth your rough edges. Deepen your strength. Remind you of your own resilience. The poet Khalil Gibran wrote, "Your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the self-same well from which your laughter rises was often filled with your tears, light and dark, joy and pain, two sides of the same coin. The more you honor your sadness, the wider your heart opens to joy. The more you face your fear, the stronger your courage becomes. You don't need to conquer your emotions. You need to welcome them, with softness, with curiosity, with grace, because every emotion you feel is part of your humanity. And your humanity is not something to escape. It's something to embrace. So the next time a difficult feeling knocks at your door, pause, open it, and say, "Welcome. What do you have to teach me today?" In that moment, you stop being at war with yourself, and you start becoming whole. Your emotions are not enemies. They are allies. And when you learn to walk alongside them, you become unstoppable. And remember this, your emotions are not interruptions to your growth. They are part of your growth. Every tear, every tremor, every moment of feeling deeply is carving out new space inside you. Space for wisdom, space for empathy, space for strength. We spend so much time trying to get over our feelings. But real healing doesn't mean getting over, it means going through, moving with, not around. And in that movement, we transform. Rumi said, "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure. What aches today can become your greatest teacher tomorrow." And when you start to honor your emotions as guides, not enemies, you'll find something unexpected. Gratitude. Gratitude for the tears that softened you. Gratitude for the anger that showed you your worth. Gratitude for the fear that sharpened your courage. This is how you reclaim your power. By standing tall, heart open, feeling it all, without apology. Because to feel is to be alive. And you, my friend, are beautifully, fiercely alive.